Good evening, everybody. While many of you may not know me personally, I'm sure a lot of you recognize me as that guy from Grovetown Neighborhood Watch that makes the long-winded posts and sometimes says things that people don't like. Yeah, it's true. I'm not afraid to speak my mind, just like a lot of people on there. But tonight, I wanted to say something that would take too long to type, and most people's eyes would glaze over if they tried to read it. So I made this video, and if you'll give me just a minute, I just want to make a couple of points because I think it's really important that we do. I think it's important that we talk to each other right now because we are at a crossroads. We here, Grovetown, us, all of us, on something that we started almost 2 years ago. Now it is election time, and as usual, the city is divided. Just like the nation is divided, politics is a nasty business, and it's gotten way nastier in my lifetime. So nasty that a lot of people are just tired of it. They want to just ignore it. They don't want to deal with it. Unfortunately, the problem with that is it doesn't matter if you live in $1 million house or a rundown mobile home. Politics affects you. It affects everything you do. It affects how much money you're going to have. It affects your children. It affects your plans. It affects your city. It affects everything. And right now we have a situation with our politics that needs our attention. Now, Gary Jones just made a post that has drawn some praise, some criticism about what's going on here in the election. I would say at the beginning that while it may not have been put as tactfully as possible, I'll give his detractors that. The one thing you have to give Gary is he's doing exactly what he always said he'd do and exactly what he's always done. He's being transparent. You don't have to guess what he's thinking. He's told you. He's told you what he's learned. He's told you what he thinks about it. Now, while that may not be the politically correct thing to do, that is the Gary Jones thing to do. And for many of us, that's exactly why he got elected, if you'll remember. And one of the things I want to talk about tonight is, do you remember how we got here? So let's just go back just a little bit and let's see if we can figure out, okay? How many times have you seen something like this on your TV or in your Facebook feed? How many times have we been on the news about one thing or another? Because if you remember, Gary started this by saying there were things wrong with this city. There were things going on that had been going on for a very long time that weren't proper. And he met resistance right from the beginning. He had a crew of people saying he was vindictive because they let him go. He was making things up. He was just trying to smear people. He would never be elected mayor. Well, he was. He was. And he started acting on exactly the things that he promised he would do when he got elected. And what did he get? He got resistance. Now, we all know where that resistance came from. And I'm not just talking about the people that posted against him in Facebook. No, I'm talking about the council members who fought him every step of the way and called it a witch hunt. Well, guess what? Just like in a Facebook post that I made, he found witches. He fought, he got us an audit, and guess what? We're not sure about the figure right now. It could be upwards of more than $1 million is missing. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. That's just the tip of the iceberg. But the whole time this is going on, oh no, that's just Gary Jones. He's playing power games. He's being vindictive. He had to force his way through it. Could not get any cooperation from a certain faction in the city council. While that was going on, a little incident popped up where the Lions Club was missing money. And coincidentally enough, some of the same people were involved in that were involved in the City Hall mess. And it was said then, oh, that's nothing, that's another witch hunt. Gary Jones cooked that up just to try to smear somebody. Well, guess what? Somebody got arrested, didn't they? Somebody got arrested. Once again, a witch hunt turned up a witch. Now, as we have tried to move forward, and not just on investigations, everything Gary has tried to do to move us forward has been met with resistance by Trudeau and Vicky Cook. Now, I can understand that you don't want people that vote Gary a blank check and just say yes to everything that he wants to do. But I'm going to ask you, what good does it do to have people that are going to say no to everything that he wants to do? How is that a functioning government? It's not. It is not. And you're going to have to make a choice. If you're tired of all this going on, if you're tired of hearing about this, if you're tired of not going forward, you're going to have to make a choice. You're either going to have to get a city council in there that allows this man to do the things that we elected him to do and that he has been trying to do since he took office, or you need to just stop complaining and take what you get. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. And for people that say I'm oversimplifying it, saying, well, that's just crazy, why in the world would they just try to block him? They've never been that way. What reason would they have for doing that? There's one reason. There's one very good reason. And it all breaks down to this. They know what's coming. That's right. They know what's coming. If you think that Vicky Capitello is the sum total of everything that's been going on, you're kidding yourself. You were kidding yourself when you said the Lions Club was nothing. I told you then. I told you then it was going to come out. And what happened? It did. The investigation's not done. And it is my personal opinion that there will be more charges filed, but it is also my personal opinion, based on common sense, that it's going to go a lot farther than that. Because there is no way it begins and ends with her. And they know it's coming. And how do we know they know it's coming? Because we know that they've been preparing for it for a long time. It's a fact that she was selling her property off to her family before this came out. They know what's coming. And that's why they want to stack the council. It's not just a personal vendetta about Gary. Now, he may have made it seem like that on his post, but that's him not being a practiced politician, which is something that I find actually refreshing about the man. Or it could also be the fact that he knows some things about the investigation that he can't say. You know, he put it in the best terms that he can, but frame the argument in the right way. It's not just about a pissing contest between one side of the council and Gary Jones. It is about an active effort to hinder and stop the investigation that is uncovering what has been going on in this city for what, 2 decades or more? They know what's coming. And that's what it's all about, folks. That's what it's been about. That's why there's been all the resistance when he was trying to get Vicky to step down, when he was trying to get her terminated. It has been a good old boy in-law system from the beginning. And what you're seeing right now is the last stand, their last ditch effort to keep it all from coming out. So again, this is what you need to decide whether you want to do. You need to decide whether you want to go ahead and move forward. And the way to do that is to give Gary a council, not that will rubber stamp what he wants to do, but that'll make the common sense decisions that we need to move forward. And the only answer to that is to re-elect Sylvia Martin and elect Alan Transo in the city council. Now, Alan is another person that is not politically experienced. I get that. Some of you may think he's a little reactive. I personally believe, from talking to the man and from what I know of him, after having served his country, served a church. The reason why he gets upset about that is because the number one thing to that man is his integrity. This is a man of integrity, just like our mayor. And when you question his integrity, he gets offended. And that's what we need in the council. We do not need experienced politicians. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the only experienced leadership that I'm seeing coming from the old guard is experience in theft, obstruction, and collusion. And that's my personal opinion. Make of it what you want. Draw your own conclusions. Sylvia Martin, I at the beginning tried to paint her with the same brush, and that lady has proved me wrong. That lady has lots of integrity. She has done everything that she could to move this city forward. She has made the right decisions. She has tried to compromise. She needs to be right where she's at, and we need Alan in there with her. But if you don't want to do that, if you want to keep Vicky Cook and you want to put Deborah Fisher in there, now I don't know anything about Deborah Fisher. I'm not going to sit here and tell her that she's dishonest, but I am going to be honest with you. Just as soon as I saw that the Trudeaus endorsed her, to me that crossed her off. For one simple reason. We can't take the chance that things will keep on going the way they are. We cannot take that chance. The only sensible thing to do is move forward and let them finish what they started. Let Gary finish what he started. And I am 100% confident that when we come out the other end, we will find out that we made the right decision. And if I'm wrong, because yes, it's possible I could be wrong, guess what? They have to face the voters again in 2 years. But at least in that 2 years, something will have been done. Something. Now, I've said my piece, and I know that not everybody is going to agree with me. That's fine. But all of this name calling and talking about conspiracies here, yeah, there's a conspiracy, all right, and it's been going on for a long time, right up under your nose. And if you want to get rid of it, then you need to vote to move forward. That's my advice to you. You folks have a good night.